All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Bernd, and today is day 4 of Advent of Code. Today was about scratch cards. Let's just go to the puzzle input. So our input will be lines such as this. So there's 5 winning numbers in this line, and they also give us the card numbers, which would be those numbers. And then for the first part, we want to calculate is just for each card the score, and the score will depend on the amount of numbers, which are both in the winning numbers as well as in the card numbers. So if there's one match, we get 1 point. Then if there's two matches, we get 2 points, and so on, doubling for each additional match. Okay, so how can we do this in code? So of course, we need to read the input and split into lines. And then we want to be able to parse a specific line. So that would be a line of the input. And first we can split it into card name and card number by the colon. And then we can split it into string corresponding to the winning numbers and the card numbers by splitting by this symbol. And then we can just parse the winning numbers from the winning number string. So how do we do that? We split the string by the space symbol. And then for each of the strings in there, this will correspond to the numbers. We convert the string into an integer. Similarly for the card numbers, we take the card number string, split it by the space symbol, and convert each number to an integer. Okay, with that, then if we have a list of winning numbers and a list of card numbers, we can calculate the score. So we want to know how many numbers are in both the winning numbers and the card numbers. So we want to know the intersection, or the size of the intersection. So we convert the list of winning numbers into a set. We also convert the list of card numbers into a set, and then we calculate the intersection. And then if there is no number in the intersection, so the length of the intersection is 0, we don't get any scores, so the score will be 0. Otherwise, if there's one number in the intersection, we get one score. So we can also write that as 2 to the power of 0. So if length is 1, we get 2 to the power of 0. And for each additional number in the intersection, we get double the score. So we can write this by this mathematical expression. Okay, with this code, we can solve the problem. So we just go for each line, sparse the line into the winning numbers and the list of card numbers, calculate the card score based on those winning numbers and the card numbers, and add that to the solution. We should do a little test. So first, we want to know that the parsing the line actually works. So if we have, for example, this input line and pass in the winning numbers and the card numbers, we want to know that the winning numbers are equal to this list, and the card numbers or my numbers are equal to this list, like starting with 38, 83, and so on. So let's first check that. That looks good, so the parsing seems to work. And also if we apply it to the test input, that also gives us the correct solution. So we can also apply it to the real input, and it also turns out that gives us the right solution. For part 2, it turns out we don't get a score for each winning scratch card, or we win more scratch cards. So how does that work? So for each card, we check again how many intersections are between the winning numbers and the card numbers. And then for each number in the intersection, we get an additional scratch card of the following card. So if we have there, for example, four intersections for card 1, then we get an additional copy of card 2, card 3, card 4, and card 5. So we get additional copies of the next 4 scratch cards. And then similarly, if we get for card 2, if there's 2 intersections between the winning numbers and the card numbers, we get additional copies of card 3 and card 4. And since we already have 2 copies from card 2 at this point, get one extra one from the winning of card 1, we'll get 2 extra copies of card 3 and card 4, and so on. Okay, so how can we solve this in Python? So from part 1, we can reuse the parse line function. And then in order to solve the problems, we start off with a single copy for each scratch line. So each scratch card corresponds to a line. And then we can go through all these lines of these scratch cards. And then we parse the line in order to get the winning numbers as well as the card numbers. We calculate the number of intersections similar to as before. That will be the score. And then for this score, we get that many additional copies of scratch cards. So we iterate through from 1 to the score -1. and then the new index where we get a new copy from will be equal to the current index plus 1, so the next card, and then this I will give us the one afterwards and so on if it's while iterating through. And then for each copy that we have at the current index, we'll get an additional copy at the new index. So that can just encode by just adding the number of copies at the current index to the number of copies at the new index. Then the total number of scratch cards we have will be just the sum of the number of copies of each scratch card we have. Okay, so let's try if that code works on the test input, and that looks good. So we can also try it on the real input, and it turns out it also gives the right solution. All right, that was it for day 4. I hope you enjoyed today's puzzle. Best of luck in the future, and I will see you around.